This shit gets you real.
So let's go.
Quick. Just one well.
I feel a different kind of presence. An evil one is coming after me.
Annabelle Creations. Directed by David F. Sandberg.
Director of Lights Out. And it stars Talitha Bateman and Lulu Wilson, who is the savior of any bad horror franchise that now has a prequel. And it tells the story. Oh fuck!
Oh god, I had an inverse impact.
You hit puberty.
And it tells. No, it's gone. Okay. And it tells the story of a couple orphan girls who go to an orphanage, and they find the creepy doll from The Conjuring, and this is how the doll became evil. And it's a prequel to the prequel. That's like a recipe for disaster, but somehow this movie's pretty good.
Yeah, thought it was. It held its own.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I only almost cried like twice, so it was pretty good.
I just cried the whole time, honestly.
cried one long time.
I mean, David S. Sandberg's a really good horror director. Lights Out was pretty fucking scary.
Still haven't seen it because I'm terrified. That was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced in my life.
It's really
It was like
it's
the
really
first
good.
time, like me and Tom were like, "Oh, let's go out and do stuff."
It's really good. It's a good movie. He knows how to direct a horror movie, and like I said, Lulu Wilson can take any bad horror franchise and you can put her in the prequel, and then it becomes a good horror franchise. I liked it.
So did I.
I was terrified, but it was really good.
Yeah. It's a pretty enjoyable romp. You want to go into thoughts? Just like, fuck it. Okay. Thoughts?
Thanks for checking us out.
Please put the scissors down. Thank you.
I went into it with low expectations.
So did I.
Come on.
Annabelle 1 was not very good.
No, yeah, that was like, oh, it's just another one. Here we go. It's gonna fall into the inevitable trap of horror franchise cash grab. But
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it kind of was, because it's just like, there's no reason for this movie to exist.
it doesn't need to be a thing.
But David Sandberg did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I think I kind of had a little higher expectations because Ouija Origin of Evil was shockingly good.
Yes.
And so I was kind of hoping this would be the case with this one. And David F. Sandberg, like I said, we already saw Lights Out and we thought it was pretty good. So I was like, maybe this will be good. And it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty cool that they're expanding upon the universe.
They're making their own little
They're making a
Avengers
universe
style.
out of everything.
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
just the new
everything's a
thing
universe
nowadays.
now.
Well, it makes me happy to see that the Conjuring series is blossoming and not in a
I can't wait to see the Warrens team up with the Hulk.
Yeah, it's gonna be real
It's
awesome.
gonna be awesome, right? What did you
DC
think?
Marvel.
I mean, I didn't see the first Annabelle, but you guys also told me not to waste my time.
It's not terrible. It's just like it. Some people really shit on it. I don't think it was as awful as people make it out.
You're gonna
It's
watch it. If you're watching it at home, you're gonna watch it, and the second it's over, you're gonna say, "Wow, I could have gotten the grocery shopping done for the week."
Yeah, it's like it's totally generic and forgettable, and it doesn't really offer anything aside from one good scene.
I mean, it
Oh,
still
there.
terrifies me.
Ooh,
The basement / elevator scene is the only good scene in the movie, and I heard a rumor that was actually directed by James Wan, so I don't even know if it counts.
I don't know. I'm also just a big fan of like the doll demon thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. As an old school Chucky fan, like I'm like,
Okay.
oh, like it's still a thing.
I will say that I liked the little tongue-in-cheek reference to
The real Annabelle at the end?
yes,
that was cute.
The Raggedy Ann.
That
Yeah.
was so cute.
Yeah. Did I tell you about that?
Nope.
The real life Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll.
In
I
real
have
life,
so many of those.
Yeah, in real life.
One of them's
the real
cursed.
case-
Well, I also have Chucky and
Oh,
Tiffany,
okay.
so
The
I'm
real-
fucked.
You're fine. Then.
The real documented case was a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah.
That's so cute. That's actually really wholesome.
Um,
I was a huge fan of Sister Bay. Sister Bay.
the nun who they used as a setup for the Nun movie.
Oh, she was
Yes.
wonderful. That one weird instance with in the picture with
Yeah.
the nun, that was
Yeah,
creepy.
Was that the nun?
It was a setup for
the
yeah.
nun.
It was
not
the nun
about
for The
that
Conjuring
I
2.
was like, I was smacking Steve. I was like, it's the nun. He was like, what?
Men.
Yeah, I mean, the acting was really good. Specifically the child acting.
Yeah.
Oh
Sister
my
Bay.
goodness, yeah.
Yeah, she was good.
I loved Sister Bay. She was just great. I think they were all honestly like. There's no one that I watched and I was like, pfft, except for fucking Carol. But
Well, Child acting.
I'm surprised she didn't get murked.
Child acting isn't really an easy thing to do, and
The other little one,
the two main girls, the two main
what was
little
it?
girls.
Linda was the other one.
Linda and
she
Janice.
was so cute.
Linda, yeah, Lulu Wilson, the one from
Yeah, I
from
just wanted
Ouija.
to, like,
She's
love
great.
her. She
She,
was so fresh.
like I said, I said it a million times. She can save any horror franchise because she's just got such screen presence, and she's a total joy to watch all the time.
Yeah, she just I can't.
She's
She was
really
so
cute
fresh.
and also a great actress.
Yeah.
And also the other girl, the one who gets possessed, Janice, is really good. Like they really sold the relationship between the two of them.
Oh yeah.
And it's like really endearing, and I think that's what gives this movie a lot of its like weight. And I think that it's really good because it's so emotionally resonant.
Yeah, like it gets you emotionally invested between them and with the Mullins and and their pain.
Yeah.
Like you felt it.
Yes.
Like you saw the difference from them in the beginning to them after it all happened.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah,
brought the
there's
girls
a
in, like you were
severe-
invested. You're like, oh man,
and I mean, I like that.
poor guy.
I like that in horror movies, especially like when you can actually get invested and there's actual like emotional resonance to
That's
it.
what I liked about the Conjuring series, because both the Conjuring movies, the actual like Conjuring 1 and 2, both Conjurings did such a good job of getting you into the lives of both the families.
Yeah.
Like you
No, I
felt
agree.
like you were one of the family.
Conjuring 2, we discussed it in our review. Like,
Conjuring
it got
2 was
really,
better than Conjuring 1.
Oh, I agree, but it got really like emotionally like
Oh
hit
my
you.
goodness!
It tugs
yeah.
at the heartstrings.
It really did.
I like that.
Having
we
that
watched it
substance
together.
underneath is better
Okay.
because
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it gives you a reason to care.
I
It
can't
gives you a
remember
reason
which
to
one
actually
it gives
like
you a
it.
reason to
And I
keep
was like,
watching.
Yes.
Those
No.
movies.
Oh yeah, once I got to the nun part, I thought it was so done. I was like over it.
What?
Remember Conjuring 2 where it was like the nun at like the end of the hallway and it was like follow me? Just that one scene I thought was done. What?
Here at those horror pals, we welcome everyone's opinion, even if they're wrong. But it's
Yeah, I mean,
No.
like, and then David Sandberg does a really good job with, actually
It's touching
directing
me.
horror scenes.
It falls.
It's adorable.
It follows me.
No, David Sandberg does a really good job directing horror scenes, and he knows how to craft, like, a frame and, like, a whole scene really well to the point where it oozes tension and makes you really uncomfortable and itchy. Like, the scene with the fucking scarecrow.
Yo.
it's
Which-
a fucking
Which
In the
the
barn.
In the barn. I
yeah.
thought the scarecrow was creepier outside the barn.
It's just creepy in
That
general.
was
It's
cool.
like that bit was creepy, and then,
Since I'm terrified of Scarecrow from Batman, that was like really that fucked me up a
I,
little.
like,
Yeah, that
I was more
fucking
worried about
scarecrow
the
again.
doll, and then the scarecrow comes along,
Yeah.
and I'm like, shit.
I'm like, I'm
But
safe nowhere.
just the bit when the
the
lights
whole
are
theater is
flickering.
quiet. You just hear Freddy in the back. Shit.
Then you heard me. Nope.
Well,
Nope.
just the bit
Nah.
when the lights are slowly like unscrewing and they're flickering in and out, and it's like you see like it's like growing hands and like tearing the thing open. You see the teeth, and then it just blacks out.
That's
That's
really
great. He does those scenes really well.
I like just started calming down at night since watching this, and now it's gonna all come back. So thank you.
That was the other thing I really wanted to mention.
It's an iguana.
I'm disgusted.
The other thing I really wanted to mention with the acting is like the two of them, the two little girls especially, like took some lines that would probably be really silly elsewhere. And I mean, the dialogue was kind of silly at times, but they took dialogue that would have been like really shitty if it wasn't coming from such a good actress, and they made it work. And so I really found that impressive, because I'm going to kind of take that and spin it into the negatives real quick. I mean, the dialogue wasn't great. The writing was kind of weird at times and a little like off-putting. Awkward is a good word for it. Yeah, that was definitely...
Like when he tickled her shoe.
Yeah. Okay,
Leave
yeah.
the poor man
I have to bring
alone.
it up.
Hasn't he been through enough without
He
y'all
was-
bullying him?
Well, he was tickling his daughter's shoe.
He deserved it.
You guys are mean. That poor man has gone through so much.
The only thing he's gone through is about 5 tubs of fucking super glue, gluing the entire Bible to the closet wall.
Oh, that's true.
I thought that was really cool.
That was a
Like
creative,
visual.
thing. I like that. I really like some of the camera work in this too. Had like they did like with the cross, they did like upside down into the cross and then like looped around and then somehow it became like the shot of inside the well.
I thought of you. I was like, wow, I totally loves this shot.
Yeah, no, there's like a lot of stuff like that, and there's some really cool camera work and really cool. Also, this movie was really gory. I was surprised at how gory it got.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was. For some
Yeah,
reason,
like
I thought
with
it was
the
PG-13.
with the mom. Like,
Yeah, with the crucifixion bit. Like, I thought it was PG-13 for some reason. And then that happened, and I was like, oh, it's not PG-13. It's like,
Oh dear.
damn.
I like that.
son.
I feel like it was a tasteful amount of gore.
Yes,
like
it
it was
wasn't-
like it wasn't like Saw
It wasn't
where it was like gory
gratuitous,
for the
no.
sake of being gore.
It wasn't
or like
gratuitous, but it was
Valentine. It was like
definitely...
ah.
It was enough to make you
It
go,
was a
holy
brief
shit.
little gore tour.
Yes. Sure. yeah, that was really cool, and I don't love the demon design.
Nah, I thought it was kind of...
It's kind of like...
Kind of reminded me, did you guys see like the Scooby-Doo movie back in the day? With the
Yeah.
like white and black people?
Yeah.
I feel like if you painted that all black, that's what it
Yeah,
would
I can see that. It's actually really interesting because I was like, this David F. Sandberg is actually really active on Reddit, and he was even talking about how he doesn't
use Reddit.
Yeah, and he was
Still a thing.
he was even saying how he doesn't even really like the demon design, but it's like he had to go with the one from the first movie, and he wasn't really in love with it, but the way they shot it, I think, made it work pretty well. Like the one bit when she's
I
on.
honestly didn't see the demon that much.
Well, you don't see it that
much.
much, but no, the bit when she's under the stairs,
I
the
didn't
doll
see
under the
it.
stairs, you see its face like ever so slightly like hovering above the doll in the background, smiling, and then it grabs the doll and pulls it away.
I didn't see
That
that.
shit's
I'm
unsettling.
happy I
Don't
didn't
like that.
see that.
That shit's unsettling, and I like that because there were jump scares in this movie, but it didn't rely on them for all the scares. Like not every scare was a jump scare, and you had really creepy shit like what I just described, and it really worked, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah, the dialogue wasn't memorable. Like I
It really
couldn't
wasn't, yeah.
tell you anything
I
that they
wouldn't
talked
say it
about.
was memorable at all by any circumstances, but I wouldn't say it was forgetful as like an insult.
It wasn't forgettable, but there were just certain moments that were really goofy for me. Like the fucking demon saying "I want your soul" was really corny.
Yeah, that was
And
kinda...
like
It's implied at
it's
this
you know like that scene was really great.
Could've come up with something
And
better than
yeah,
that.
that part was just kind of like I chuckled.
That's not as bad as what was the worst fucking the most cringe-worthy.
There have been some awful
The most
ones.
cringe-worthy moment in recent horror was in the Friday the 13th remake.
Oh, that one's pretty bad.
Say hi to mommy in hell.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible. That is pretty awful. I mean,
As a fan of that franchise, since
Freddy
I was
vs.
about
Jason also,
5,
though.
yeah, that hurt a lot.
yeah, there's some
That
pretty terrible ones.
right there.
That was an issue with the dialogue, and then my biggest problem, I feel like this movie, like it's really cool and it does some really original stuff, but it almost beat for beat follows The Conjuring exactly. Were those the beats? Is that what those were? Okay, cool. Yeah, it almost like it note for note follows the exact same story like notes as The Conjuring.
Yeah, I actually noticed that. I was like, this feels familiar.
Well, there are points when like it just moved past like, oh, we're like just kind of following the same structure, and like it literally went
watching
into
side by side.
it literally went into a part where like,
Ah.
let's have the opening shot of the house be this long one take going through the whole
Yeah,
house,
yeah.
like The Conjuring with old school music playing. I was watching.
Oh,
I'm like,
what was
this is
yeah,
literally
the
like the same
time of the season? The zombies
Yeah.
when I was playing.
Yeah, and it was just like the same exact scene as The Conjuring, and I was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, that's weird.
Maybe it's just to make that connection a little stronger.
I guess, but like it was too much at times, and I felt like by the time you got to the end, like the whole third act there was so much happening
Yeah.
that it almost felt like exhausting and not in a good way. Like there were too many scares almost to the point where like, and I'm fine with
I wasn't watching at that point because I'm bad at watching horror
No,
movies.
I'm good at that point. Once I get to the third act of a horror movie, I'm fine. It's just like the little creepy shit in the beginning that fucks me up.
I'm honestly cool with like a movie having like no real room to breathe. Like, for example, something like Don't Breathe, where it's just constant like. That was terrible. But no, like Don't Breathe, where it's just like it doesn't stop and it's just constantly.
Lights Out was like that,
intense
too.
shit. Yeah, Lights Out is another
Like
one.
you start off terrified, and I stayed crying the whole time.
But-
Oh, you mean a movie like that doesn't stop? You mean like Unstoppable?
Sure. Kill me. Wait, you have that, but then you have something like in this movie, like the whole third act felt almost kind of bloated because of it. Fuck off.
Come on, that was just a funny choice of words.
But well, no.
It's like-
I
Same.
get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying
Here.
because
You just get you feel tired
I
by
was
the end.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming, and you feel like because there's certain. I feel like they could have cut maybe 10 minutes out of the third act, and it would have been a lot stronger. But I don't know.
That was bothering me.
Was there something on my
There's
shirt?
a fuzzy.
Oh, okay. Overall, I think it was pretty good though. Like I would say it's like Conjuring 2, Conjuring, Annabelle Creation, and then Annabelle.
Yes.
Actually, no. Then like spacebar, Annabelle.
I was gonna say, I feel like
Yeah.
there should be a gap.
Yeah, there's a
From
pretty
everything
big
you guys
gap
have
because
told me.
like Annabelle was not that great.
Ratings.
How
Yeah.
does this work again?
So, oh, jeez. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's a paper. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty. I would say it's a fun movie. It's not great. It's a fun time though, and
I would put good for fans of the Conjuring series.
Okay. I would say it's solid, honestly.
Like it's like if I was still doing letter grades, I'd give it like a B.
I'd say it's solid as well, but also good for fans of doll movies in general.
Yes. Yeah.
So like both of those things, but in a good way. I mean, wait.
Yeah. There you go. That sums it
Blocking the
up.
light.
What did you? Good for fans of Boston Market gravy.
That's not how you
love
spell
Boston
gravy.
Market.
He also put the R in Boston Market backwards.
Well, I also put the movie at solid.
Yeah.
I would agree. It was good. It was a good time. It was enjoyable. And, like, I love horror movies, but I always, like, freak out and cry during them. But I enjoy it thoroughly, so I would say it's up there. But obviously good if you like The Conjuring.
Yeah. No.
I think the
definitely.
whole building the universe thing is just, like, meh. But, like, some people are into
Everyone's
it. That's cool.
doing it right
This movie's so similar to the first Conjuring that I feel like if you like the first Conjuring, you'll definitely like this. Like no question. The Conjuring diet.
Yes.
now. If
The
I
Conjuring
leave,
light.
Yeah.
if
It's
I
the
leave,
light fear.
if
Yeah.
I leave a horror movie and I'm like creeped out for a couple nights after,
It's a good horror movie. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
if I have to sleep with the lights on that day, it was a good movie.
I also like how they.
Except Lights Out, I slept with the lights
Oh.
on for like 2 weeks.
Fuck that.
I like
that's
how
why
in-
I can't watch that movie.
It was so
I'll never-
scary.
nope.
Oh my god.
I liked how in order to make the doll creepier in this, they went to a place that makes like the most lifelike glass eyes imaginable and put them in the doll.
My aunt makes
I was
glass
just gonna
eyes for
say,
a
did they
living.
go there?
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
That's
fun
interesting.
fact. Because she has a glass eye.
Really?
Yep. Fun fact.
Those two like middle-aged girls, like the two like the black girl and the little girl who had no personality whatsoever.
They had no
the
personality
two of them had
whatsoever.
no personality
They
whatsoever.
just wanted more kids. Dramatic
Yeah,
effect.
that's true. But it was like they literally had no character at all. I think they had like one line where they're just like, "Wow," and that was it.
Franny.
It was me.
It was Franny.
One thing I did like about the movie was that they kind of incorporated other characters. Like I felt like I don't know how to explain it. I felt like they had more screen time with the other characters other
Yeah.
than those two.
That's true.
But everybody else got like a lot of
Sister
screen
Babe.
time. Yeah, as opposed to just focusing on like the two main.
That's-
ones.
yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Everybody.
Tell that actress that I love her, please.
Okay. Hey, she loves you.
Sister Babe.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna do another review and stick around to the end of that one for a fun little announcement that I'm gonna do because yeah. Also, before I
Lee's
end
pregnant.
this, I'm pregnant. Before I end this, I really want to say, and this is like true, like just kind of get real for a second. Thank you all for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. That's actually really, really awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm glad you guys like our reviews. That's actually really cool. So
Thanks for 1,000.
you got
He's
cut
not
off
gonna
by the
edit
edge of the
that.
frame.
I'm Tommy Shinsky, you're watching the Disney Channel.
Rated